ladies and gentlemen out there, this is my brother Craig.
What's up, y'all?
Norman Craig. We served together in the Army. We served, what, 3 years together? 4 years together?
16 to
I was there till 18, so 3 years.
18, yeah. 19. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I'm good, man. I'm good. Yeah, man.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about when we was in the Army together. Seems like yesterday.
It does, man. It goes by so damn fast.
Oh yeah.
Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. I was sitting back the other day and I was just talking, just chatting, and I was sitting there thinking about, like, if I was in the Army right now, it wouldn't be like this. I'd just be like, hey, this is what you gotta do, and there ain't no discussion. Go handle it.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
But in today's world, outside of the Army, you can't be like that. You realize just how small of a percentage you really are.
Yep.
I didn't believe that when I was in. I was like, man, what you mean 1%? Da, 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 da.
Yeah. Yep.
Because you're surrounded by everybody in the military, and everybody has the same mentality. They have, the same structure. They got the same clothes. They got the same formation times and whatnot. So everybody's on that mindset.
Yep.
And then you get out and you're like, oh, shoot, you really are on your own. You got to figure this out.
Yep.
There's nobody going to tell you, hey, make sure you're there at 6:05, not 6:10, not 6:50, 6:05. Like, there's nobody in the real life to tell you that stuff, but you do miss the little things. I notice I miss the camaraderie the most. Just being able to, like, go to the field, and it is as crappy as it is, right? It's raining on us, especially here in Fort Lewis.
Yeah.
It's raining all the time. It's cold, and everybody is embracing it the same way. That's what I like. I like being able to, especially like my old platoon, we was all out there digging and doing stuff together. Like, I miss that stuff.
Yeah.
And I noticed since I've been out, it's a dog-eat-dog world in these businesses, man. And, like, you got to climb this ladder and kiss butt, and it's just not for me in a lot of ways, and it gets real difficult, I think, for a soldier or for a veteran to go from an environment that is, you're going to get results if you put in the work. You know what I mean? And whether that's physical PT, whether that's mental and actually trying to strive for different awards, or maybe that's just your personal growth or whatever, there's some kind of structure there to help you and guide you. I mean, we had leadership courses and mentorship meetings all the time, but when you go out into these, because I've been at Boeing and stuff like that, they don't have these type of meetings and leadership mentor stuff like that. They don't have that. It's just about how can we get the best profits next quarter.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And
Facts.
it's not about the little guy who's gonna get you those profits next quarter. It's just, how are we gonna get them profits next quarter?
Yeah, that's true, man.
And I notice there comes a time and a place where you have to make that decision. Am I going to just stick with the normal status quo, or am I going to start building and working towards something that I have more potential with, or something that is actually going to give me some value? And I think that's where a lot of men, women too, but a lot of men, they forget that. They forget that there's other options outside of just a job to establish some value.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? And like, even your shirt, trust God.
Yeah, man.
That right there is like, that's a huge message. Like,
yeah, man.
Especially today.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Especially today, no matter which side of the political house you're on, I try to tell people, it's like, no matter if you're okay with this, if you give this much power to one side, the other side gonna do it too.
Yeah.
So, like, whether you like it or not, you have to consider, like, you shouldn't be giving up all of your fundamentals, your values, your rights, and give that up to the government. Like,
true.
You know what I mean? God gave you some rights. God gave you life. God gave you everything that you need. Why would I give that up to the government to control?
That's true.
And I
True.
think for like you and I,
Yeah.
we know that firsthand.
Yeah.
Being in the military, we know we don't get a say so.
Facts.
We don't get a say so on whether how we wear our faces, let alone to what food we're gonna eat, like what time we're gonna show up, what your PT standards gonna be. You don't get a choice.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And what I try to remind people who think about like socialist ideas is if you've never served in the military, you're not going to understand what that looks like. Like if everybody has the same thing, you're going to be waiting a long time for that first appointment to see the doctor because everybody gets the same level of treatment. And people forget that. It's like, well, you should be just entitled to this, but if everybody gets it, you lose a lot of value too.
True.
And then nobody wants to work hard anymore. And
everybody got their hands out waiting. Yeah.
That's one thing I don't understand. And I think that's just as fortunate as I look at myself. I value hard work.
Yep.
I value putting in the effort, even if other people are going to tell you no, don't do it that way. At least you're doing something. You know what I mean? As opposed to allowing somebody else, the government, to make the decision for you.
Yep.
And that's what's going to ultimately happen if people don't understand what's at grabs here.
Yeah.
And
I think it's called Nine. It's for veterans up in Pierce County. And I use it myself personally. It's a great program. I think there's a vet center up there too.
Tacoma area.
Yeah, in Tacoma. I didn't really use it though.
I tried working with them
when
I first got out, but I got really weird vibes from them.
Yeah, me too.
And when I was first, it was 2018 when I got out, and they were like, well, you got to get put on some waiting lists first.
Yep.
And then we'll reach out to you and see. And I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do in the meantime? Right?
Yep.
You know what I mean? And then I never got the call back.
Yep.
So I called them back a few months later. I was like, hey, what's the status? And they're like, oh, well, we don't have anything on file for you. And I'm like, okay, so can we start this process over? In the meantime, I'm just figuring out myself, you know, and it can get pretty frustrating.
Yeah.
Especially for a lot of guys who even served longer than we did, who that's all they knew. That's all they know. And now they're forced out here into the regular civilian world and told, hey, go mop the bathroom floor and that's
McDonald's or
whatever.
Yeah. Sad.
I've learned it doesn't really matter what the job is. If you don't find value in what you're doing, it's going to be a hard struggle, especially for guys like us who have seen the other side. Like we've seen some of the worst conditions that I don't even think normal people could even fathom.
Yeah.
Like
true.
just Afghanistan alone.
Yeah.
Like the things that we had to just see and get told, like, hey, this is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it. And then you come back here and you realize, like, wait a minute. Here we are 10 years later, and I'm asking myself, what the hell were we really doing?
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can't help but get mad at the government. And it's like everything I was told looks like it was a freaking lie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I'm told to just, hey, thank you for your service, man. Call the VA if you need anything.
Yeah.
And I think that's a pretty big problem. And that's part of why I like to do outreach like this, because it shows people that, look, it's not just me as one veteran that has these situations and issues, but there's other brothers and sisters right here in our community that have the same issues, and the resources are not doing us any good. You know what I mean? And as unfortunate as that is, I look at it also as an opportunity, because then it makes people like you and I come together and think, hey, well, what can we do? What can we do? Because if we leave it to the government, it's not going to get fixed.
Facts.
Like, if we leave it to the government, it's just not going to get fixed. You know, and I don't know how else to, especially now,
Yeah.
let people understand that. Like, how can you still have so much faith and trust in either side?
Yep.
Like, look at what you're giving up, regardless of who you like or whatever. Like, look at what you're really giving up.
Yeah.
And I think most of the veterans and stuff that I've talked to, they realize that. They're like, nah, forget this, you know.
Yeah.
But then the other 99%, you're like, what are y'all thinking? You know,
Yeah.
what are you guys really thinking? And I think it gets rather concerning when you realize how many people have no idea.
Facts.
That scares me.
Facts. So, whenever I was transitioning out of the Army in 2021, I was looking at the process, right? Like something as simple as writing a resume, right?
Right.
For me, going out of high school straight into the Army, never even looked at a resume, never even made a resume. I think that simple process is one of the biggest factors of unemployed veterans. You know what I mean? Because we done a lot of great stuff. Both of us was NCOs for several years, so we got the leadership. Um, we got the discipline. We know how to develop people, but can we transition all of that properly onto a resume, right? For us, we can, but I want to say probably a high percentage of veterans don't know how to properly articulate that to that resume. You know what I mean?
Something as simple as, like, for instance, you and I have been to advanced leader course.
Yep.
Right? And that's a big deal.
Yep.
Like, you learn a lot of stuff and
Yep.
how to break things down
Yep.
and figure things
Yep.
out, right? To the minute detail.
Yep.
But how do you articulate taking that course and that level of skill set and
Yep.
put it on paper to a civilian job?
Yep.
How?
Yep.
You know what I mean? And what equivalency would that look like to, like, the civilian school sector or something like that?
Yep.
Because a lot of these courses that we take are great courses, but then
Yep.
they're not accredited or whatnot. It's only good for the Army. And it's
Yep.
like, I don't believe that, because you still get the skill.
Yeah.
The skill doesn't just dissipate because somebody didn't put their stamp on it.
Yeah. That's facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
Because and if that was the case, the Army itself wouldn't be investing so much money into these courses to keep them around and keep enhancing these programs and courses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? ALC is not going to go anywhere. It's just going to get bigger and better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they wouldn't invest that time into it if they didn't know it was working.
Yeah.
Like, there's obviously good results that come from something like that. Warrior leader course to advanced leader course to senior leader course,
master leader course,
you know what I mean?
Academy. Yeah.
And each level of those tweak it just a little bit more, just making you think just a little bit more than you used to.
True.
Right? But where do you see that kind of development being done in regular workforce? So I think when you don't see that, and then you as the soldier, let's say you're at E4, you get out, specialist, you did your 4 years or whatnot. You know what I mean? Let's just say that's what you want to do. There's nothing wrong with that. You did your 4 years, you got out honorably, and you want to go do something else. But while you were in, you did some really good stuff.
Yeah.
But the most you can say, well, we went to the field, we trained, I was stuck in the motor pool most of the time. Like, no, man. Like, okay, the motor pool alone, you could put down all kinds of things that you were accomplishing mechanic-wise, all kinds of different things that you can look at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And articulate, able to break down the technical manuals and whatnot. How do you articulate that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't believe that class that they give us on the way out is, I've learned that it's not beneficial. It's just a check the block mentality and it seems like they're trying to just push you
Push
out
you
as
out.
quickly
Yeah.
as possible to get you over to the VA and tell you, well, the VA will take care of you now. That's what it seems like.
So I don't think some people, when they're transitioning, I don't think they realize how serious it's gonna get once they get out of the military, right? Once that paycheck stops on the 1st and 15th, um, they got to find somewhere to stay. They got to figure out what they're gonna do for a living. You know what I mean? And when, like you said, when you're going through that transition, it's almost like a check the block.
Mm-hmm.
So the lower enlisted sometimes treat it as such, because especially if they don't have any wife or kids, they don't got any responsibilities. They're just like, oh, I'm gonna go to college.
Exactly.
Okay, you're gonna go to college, but where are you gonna stay? What are you gonna do for work? Are you gonna stay here locally? Are you gonna go back home, or like, what are you actually gonna do now that you're out the military? I don't think it actually registers until, all right, I just turned in my final checklist.
Right.
Everything signed. Here you go, S1. I got my DD 214. I'm free to go.
And
now
it almost
what?
It feels like you're free, right?
Yeah.
It feels like, hey, the class, I think, is designed to give you the front, the idea that, hey, we're trying to set you up for success. But they also tell you some of these benefits are only for the retirees or the medical retirees. So some of those benefits we can go back and get for life.
Yeah.
Right? But all those other guys that just ETS regular, they don't get those extra benefits for life. You know what I mean? There are some of those things that once they get out, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And that, I think that's a big problem too, because let's say you did just do your 4 years. You deployed in that 4 years and you handled some real stuff.
Yeah.
Right. And you come back, you honorably discharged, you're not married, you just did your time and you want to go do something else. But now you have trauma in your head that you can't ever get out. Whether it stays put there dormant for 10 years, or every once in a while something's trickling out.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you can't unsee these things. You can't unsmell these things. You can't unhear these things.
It's in there, man.
And the thing is that it doesn't go away. You just learn how to manage it. That's all you can do. I mean, and there's days for myself, like I'll have intense rage and I'm just pissed off at the government, especially just like, wait a minute, they had us doing this, and then they're going ahead, like, what?
Well, why were we there?
What was the point of me even? So then, okay, so now my injury's for nothing. And you're gonna send other people over to do what? For the suits and ties that have never actually been on the ground. I can't be mad at the Army, because the Army's just doing their job. The Army's doing what the Army's supposed to do, which is answer to the Department of the Army, which is run by a civilian. That's how it is. Like the director, or who is it? Who's in charge of the Army? The Secretary of the Army.
There you go. Yeah.
That individual, the next person in line is they gonna talk to the Secretary of Defense. Like. Like, they're still a civilian person. These people aren't the ones on the ground. They sit in the offices making the decisions, talking about, we're going to send soldiers to the border of Ukraine and stuff. And it's like, we're just repeating the same exact cycle we did in Afghanistan for what? And we saw the result of Afghanistan. So, like, to me, that leaves me wondering, okay, why would we continue to want to do this, right? And it gets scary. It gets scary, but then we're starting to see this time around how things are kind of shifting a little differently. A lot of other countries are like, okay, we'll get on board because of these sanctions, but that also drives up prices here short term. but that people aren't going to realize.
Yeah.
Prices are like, I just,
Eggs are ridiculous right now.
bro.
I don't even buy eggs like that.
And
the average family who is buying eggs right now,
man, I had to go to the commissary. I keep going to the commissary. I get my meats and all that stuff at the commissary because I'm not paying all the extra taxes either. But
yeah,
the prices are just ridiculous. Like a pound of hamburger meat at Safeway, $10.
That's crazy. What?
If you get the prepackaged one,
Of
right?
course.
But if you go to the butcher, it's $6.99.
Oh,
So I just be going straight to the butcher. Hey, let me get a pound and a half of ground beef or whatever, and it's so much better.
yeah.
Like I just go straight to the butcher now because, and the guy told me that he said, "Yeah, man, we're driving up the prices on the stickers and stuff, but just come over here to the butcher." And I'm like,
huh?
I didn't think about it. I forgot about that because I don't think about going to the butcher.
Yeah, I ain't think about
that. You don't think about it.
Yeah.
$6.99 versus $12 for the same pound.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
That's crazy. What? That's insane.
It's like highway robbery, man. Like, you look at it and you're like, how can I, like, the other day it was eggs, 18-pack of eggs, and it was 10 something. I was like, I'm not buying that.
Yeah.
I'll wait. I will wait and go to another store or something to buy it. I can't pay that much for some eggs. Like,
yeah.
And it doesn't make sense.
It's getting ridiculous, man.
And then they say it's because of bird flu. It's like, so the only birds that are affected by bird flu happen to be chickens?
Chickens? Yeah.
And the only
yeah. Just the chickens.
The swine flu, the only things that's messed up is the pork that we mad cow disease. The only
hey, that's facts though, man.
But that's what they put out, right? That's what they put out, man. And I'm like, I don't understand it.
Yeah.
There's three main flus that they put out there and try to scare people with. And listen, three main meats that we eat. I would hear but you don't ever hear of like the duck flu.
Facts.
The deer flu.
Yeah.
You don't hear none of those. And people eat deer and duck regularly.
True.
You never hear of those things.
Huh.
So, you know what I mean? It just makes me think. Like, I look at the shirt. I just got to trust God, not the government. Because if I listen to the government's going to tell me I'm going to get swine flu from eating eggs the wrong way.
Man. You know what, man?
But if I listen to God, he says, I put these eggs here for you. I put this chicken here for you. I put
But when you think about this, though, all of this started happening like during COVID and after.
Yeah.
Once the big companies realized that people will pay pretty much anything.
Yeah. To keep a product that they're used to?
Yes.
That they're already addicted to?
Floodgates open across all industries, bro.
Can I ask you something? As a believer, does it seem like evil is present?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think about it. I don't know.
I have a hard time not seeing it. And I think that also is because of what I surround myself with.
Yeah.
Some of the things that I look into and investigate lately have been, it seems inherently evil. So I had to sit back and look up, like, okay, well, what is evil? Right? Like, we all hear the term, oh, that's evil. What is evil? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I had to think about it. Okay, doing something or acting maliciously on purpose.
Yeah. For
your benefit or off of the backs of somebody else for your benefit or whatnot. And I started thinking, okay, well, that seems like evil. That seems like if you're purposely doing something to benefit yourself, but it harms somebody else, that seems evil. Why else would you purposely try to do that, right? So I started looking a little bit more, and I started looking at how the devil works. And the devil likes to work by not trying to persuade you to do something wrong. but by giving you those desires of things that you want.
Oh,
So most people have a desire for wealth, a
yeah,
desire for power.
yeah,
So what does that look like, right?
mm,
Well, in order to have power, you have to have control.
yeah,
How do you control? Well, let me flood the market with a product of something that they can't get enough of.
yeah,
And then I raise the price on because now they feel like they're attached to that item or that program
yeah.
or whatever it is. Meanwhile, as the consumer, we're sitting here dealing with
Suffering.
$10 eggs.
Yeah, suffering.
But you see what I mean?
Yeah,
But the companies, they can say, oh, we're just going to call it the bird flu.
yeah.
They can just say that stuff and
People
raise the
still gonna pay
price,
for it.
and we still got to pay for it.
Dang.
And at what point have we gotten like a, hey, here's the Safeway relief coupon? For the last 6 weeks we've been paying $10 in eggs. Now you get a discount. So I'm like, you don't see nothing like that. When have the companies started to give back to the people? You don't see that. However, you do see now every time you go to check out, hey, do you want to donate to this, or do you want to? Every time you check out, everywhere you go, you want to donate to this fund or whatnot. Single person, no other.
And you know what, man? Anytime I see like this arbitrary donation to veterans or something, one time I just asked the people, like, does this actually go to veterans?
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, uh,
That's what you got to start asking those questions. Okay, where does the money go?
yeah,
If I'm going to donate to this, where does it go specifically?
yeah, facts.
Specifically,
Yeah,
if it goes towards their salaries, not happening.
no,
Sorry. Especially if you're a nonprofit, like my nonprofit,
yeah,
I don't have a salary at all.
yeah,
I don't take in a salary.
yeah,
I do for the 2 contracts I have in the summertime.
mm-hmm,
Those are paid contracts.
mm-hmm,
So I break it down per hour and whatnot.
mm-hmm,
That's how I do it.
mm-hmm,
But I don't take a salary for that. I just work the hours.
yeah,
And the guy that helps me, I pay him for those hours.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I'm not going to, and the rest I donate to the nonprofit.
yeah,
Like, I'm not going to sit there and take in money
mm-hmm,
and not actually use it for something that is going to help or benefit. What I'm saying, I can't do that.
yeah,
It feels wrong.
yeah,
And I don't care if it takes me 10, 20 years to get that first $100,000 grant or whatnot.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
At least I know that I'm doing it the right way.
Yep.
Without asking for a handout and expecting them to pay me and change what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
Because that's how they're operating now. Hey, yeah, we'll fund you. We'll give you the funds. However, we want you to do this, this, and this now.
Yeah.
Which takes away from the entire idea of what you're usually working with.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, when they want that power, they want those desirable things, they see the money and they're like, well, if I just do this for a few years, taking the money, bend the knee, do what they want, then I can get out and do something later.
Yeah.
But then they keep a little bit more and give you a little bit more. And next thing you know, you're there 10, 15 years working for somebody else.
Yeah.
Not even realizing what you could have did.
Yeah. Yeah. The non-line over in 5, that's a good team. They care. Yeah.
9 Line? Oh, pull them up.
Yeah, it's called 9 Line. Great team. There's a workout group called MVP.
9 Line Veteran Services.
Yep.
This one here?
That's him.
Okay.
Yep, that's a great team. They're over in Fife. They care. They're all actual veterans. Yeah, great people. They actually care over there, man. They saved my life.
Really?
Yeah, man. Like, I had lost my job in 2023. Bank account negative. Every job I applied to, man, all the climb on Indeed. I walked in, man. They actually got me food and all kinds of stuff, dude. Yeah,
Really?
yeah, man.
I didn't know that he was going through that either, man.
Yeah, yeah.
It's hard to
Yep,
reach out for help, isn't it?
yep,
It's
yep,
real hard, isn't it?
yep.
Damn.
Um,
What happened, man? If you don't mind, like what's going on?
um. So I was truck driving.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yep. I swapped from McLean to another truck driving company here locally, and it was just too much, man. You know.
Being on the road
Um,
all the time, or
well, it wasn't that. I was I was here locally, but I was delivering stuff by hand truck, man. Yeah, amount of work I was doing compared to the pay, it didn't make any sense, right?
right,
Um, and I was the newest guy, wasn't hacking it, and I got laid off, right? So fired, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, man. And then from there, I had just walked in over at Audi of Tacoma, um, and seeing if they were hiring. Done a job interview right there on the spot, got the job, um, worked there about a year and a half, and now I'm gonna be selling roofs,
okay.
which is gonna be pretty cool. I'm excited to do that, but um, and just working in car sales, meeting a lot of local veterans, man. The
Yeah, man.
networking just from that alone is crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know how many veterans were actually in the area until I started selling cars, man. It
Right.
is crazy.
You think about it like after you get out, everybody kind of disperses and
Yeah.
what and it's on their own
Yep.
path. And it's like, well, how many of us are still here? Right? And then you start selling cars. Oh, you a vet too? You a vet too? It's
Yeah,
like, oh,
man.
okay, so we're still
Yep.
here.
Yep. It's a lot of veterans in this area, Tacoma, um, Gig Harbor, um, all around the area is
have
full of veterans.
Have you been going to some veteran events and stuff lately?
Nah, man, I don't even know where I can find any veteran events like that. You
I'm
know?
gonna start sending you stuff.
Yeah,
I'm gonna just start sending you stuff like, hey
yeah,
man, this is in the area, this is what's
yeah,
going on because what I'm learning too is just getting out and reconnecting
yeah,
with some other like guys who've been through it. Just that alone
yeah,
is like wow, like finally
yeah,
you don't feel like you're just by
yeah,
yourself roughing it. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And like it's one thing to use one of the services Nine Line has and stuff like that because that's what they're dedicated to doing.
yeah,
But then just being out at an event or something like that and just meeting like-minded people and
yep,
stuff like that, I think is amazing.
yeah. It's pretty
I'm
cool.
gonna start sending you some events because uh, there's some good ones like the combat veteran motorcycle guys.
Oh yeah.
They're a big one here, and they do a big event at the Harley Davidson right up here by Walmart.
Oh
They have
really?
a big event that they do.
Huh.
My buddy Fred, he's on their board,
Uh-huh.
and he was telling me that he's going to invite me to their event, maybe whatnot. And that's another one.
When is it?
He said he'll let me know when it's coming up.
Okay.
I think it might be springtime, May,
Oh.
June time, something like that.
Okay.
So probably
Okay.
around Memorial Day, I think it is. Yeah, I
Okay.
think he was saying Memorial Day. So that's probably May time, end of May.
Yeah.
Uh, but there's also some other local stuff, little things here that have been going on that I don't mind sharing and getting out to some of them. Some of them is kind of not for me.
Yeah.
It just depends on like what their agenda or focus is
Yeah.
and whatnot.
Huh.
I don't I don't necessarily like to participate in things that are just like if it's just a bunch of talking
Yeah.
and not solution based. I don't really like to attend stuff like it's one thing I understand there's a time and a place
Yeah.
to just get together and talk and all that.
Yeah.
But if that's all that's going to be end up going on, it's like, all right, I want to start seeing solutions for these guys. Like, what can we do right now with this guy other than talking? You know what I mean? Because if I wanted to talk all the time, I can go talk to a therapist or something.
Yeah.
Right. But I want to see what's going to actually benefit my buddy here and get him on the right track.
And with this program, that's literally what this program is.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to reach out to them and see if they would be interested in also doing a podcast. And then if I could add them to our resource page too.
Yeah.
Because I get people all the time that look at just our resource page on our website.
Yeah.
And, you know, just that little bit. Hey, did you guys know this is right here in Fife?
Dude, they're amazing.
Right here in Fife. And, and I'll be happy to show anybody, hey, you guys know this is right here. And if you guys need something, why not? Because we have a vet center right here in Lacey. It's right off of, I think it's off of 6th, right by the police station, City Hall. We have a whole vet hub, and they have veteran service officers there, like from the VA and stuff. They do food bags and stuff like that. It's part of the city, but it's something that our mayor started here a couple of years ago.
That's pretty cool.
It's a little hub they have, and they offer like the space for us to do classes for veterans and stuff. But they all have to be free classes, of course, if we're going to use their space, which is fine. Because like, I want to charge vets to give me information. Yeah. You know, but if that's something that like you wanted to look into as far as like consulting and stuff like that, maybe there's a class you want to teach just on the taxes for home buyers or whatever it is. You know what I mean? That's something that you could do. Hey, we can do, here's a 1 hour demo class or something, and then you give everybody your information and they start on the side.
So
you know what I mean?
Yeah. I got a good friend named Ken Cox. That's what he specializes in. Every Saturday he does like VA home loan classes in Lakewood at the Premier Real Estate headquarters. Free food.
Just gotta show up, right?
Yeah, super good course just for any veteran to learn about the VA home loan, how to actually properly utilize it to the maximum. You know what I mean? And he's been doing that since he got out of the Navy. He was in Vietnam and stuff. So,
wow.
Yeah.
He's got some real experience. Years experience.
But yeah, he's a good brother of mine.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Like different branches, different times of service, and we can still connect and be like, I got you.
Yep.
I love that.
Oh, he might have been Army. I can't remember.
I think back in Vietnam, everybody was everything.
Yeah, and that's what I think. Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah.
Like, my granddaddy was in Vietnam, and he was telling me, like, one point it was Army, one point it was Air Corps. He was just everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, just wherever they needed you, he was a boot.
Yeah.
Go.
Yep.
Like,
yep.
It's nuts, man. But I think that's amazing how between the different branches we can still connect.
Yeah.
And come together and help each other out. I think that's amazing. Because at the end of the day, who else is going to look out for the veteran better than the veteran? Because nobody else understands us.
Fact.
Nobody else. They can try.
Yeah.
But they don't understand us.
Yeah, you get a job and hand them a DD-214 most of the time. They just put it in a drawer. Don't even look at it.
They don't look at it. It's like your high school diploma. Yeah. Okay, can you show up on time and do this job?
Literally. That's it.
And then they want to look over your shoulder to make sure you're doing it right. Like,
well, and that's the thing, man. That's what I like about being in sales. It's all commission based, so it's literally on you to make stuff happen. You know,
you put in that effort, you get the money.
Yep, exactly. And that's why I like sales a lot more to anything that I've done. Um, it's all on me if I make money or not. Um, you know, and I trust myself more than anything else. So,
Right, right.
you
So
know,
you know for a fact if you put in that effort, then there's money that can be
yeah,
made,
yeah,
as opposed to, hey, if the boss don't like me just because I didn't get my report done on
yeah,
time. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
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 I can see that, and you got it. Like you got the good smile, you got that
yeah,
sale mentality. You know
yeah,
what I mean? So
yeah,
you might as well use some of your strengths,
yeah,
right?
right, yeah,
You got
facts,
to, you got
facts,
to,
man,
you
yeah.
got to. But how is it working though? Like you're transitioning from cars to selling roofs. What's that like, and what got you into roofs?
Um, so I hadn't. It's what I'm on my second week with the whole roof selling
Uh-huh.
process, so I'm still learning it. Um, at the end of the day, like sales is sales. You know
Right.
what I mean? Um, car sales is probably the it's different. You know what I mean? No
Right.
matter the brand of car that you sell, the process is still selling a car. You know what I mean?
Right. You're still
Um,
trying to sell them the product. Like,
exactly. Yeah. Um, it's it's kind of like how people see cops and how people see firefighters. You know what I
okay.
mean?
Okay.
Firefighters are heroes in most instances. Depending on the situation, cops are viewed,
Uh-huh.
a certain type of way. Um, and most car sales personnel a certain way, just
Yeah.
because
The nature of the
the
business, and
nature of the business or the person had a bad experience or their family member and
they all have a story of a bad car
exactly.
salesman, right?
Yep. Yep.
I got messed over and got a
Yep.
15-20%
Yeah,
interest rate
man.
because he.
Yep. Yep. So it was almost like an uphill battle in most instances selling a car. You know what I mean? But I loved it. Um,
Did
I,
you mentioned that you got a lot of veteran that were coming to buy cars from you and stuff. So
yep.
as a service member, as a veteran, did that make you feel good that you were able to look out for other brothers and sisters coming to get a car, that you knew
Oh
that
yeah.
you weren't going to be the one to give them that 40% interest rate as a
Oh
new
yeah.
soldier and
Oh
stuff like
yeah.
that? Because we've all
Yeah.
heard those
Yeah.
stories. We get the brand new private and they
Oh
come in
yeah.
with a
We all had
Corvette
those.
and a
Yeah, man.
25% interest, $800 car payment. And you're like,
Yeah.
did you think about that? Like,
Yeah, man.
we've had to go down
Yeah.
to the dealership and
Yep.
try to work out a deal. Like,
Man. So, and that's the thing, and it's all based off your credit. If
mm-hmm.
if it's your first time buying a car and you're doing it by yourself, you're gonna have a high interest rate, especially
Right.
on a used car. But most of the veterans that I was running into, um, they was either retired or they served in one branch of the military or another. But as far as like brand new, you know, E4s or privates, I never sold. The
Okay.
lowest rank on active duty that I sold, a brand new Audi 2, he was a E5. Yeah.
Okay, so he has some experience at least. You
Um,
know,
yeah,
I would hope as an E5.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um,
I really would, because I've seen some guys lately. I'm like,
uh,
ugh,
yeah, I don't even go on posts anymore, man. I don't even
it's
like seeing
hard,
soldiers, man. I'm not
dude.
gonna lie to you. It looks crazy.
With the ponytails and stuff, I'm just
Man,
like, it's so sloppy.
man, it looks
I hope
crazy.
they fix that and change
Yeah.
that, man. Because
Everybody has a beard like ours, you know what I mean?
no,
It's crazy.
like
Yeah. Crazy.
I never thought I would be that grumpy old vet. Like, man, take this shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it just makes me think, like, what happened?
Man.
What happened, man?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I could never imagine. Well, I guess I could because I saw it coming.
Yeah.
I want to ask you this because you were in the Army in 2012.
Yeah.
Um,
I had just got back from my first deployment.
okay, so
Yeah.
I had been back about a year for my first deployment. I was
Yeah.
on DSurf mission in
Got you.
2012 in Fort
Okay.
Polk.
Yeah.
But what I distinctly remember, and this is going to sound conspiratorial
No, go
for a
ahead.
second, I distinctly remember in the 2012 timeframe when Obama got reelected.
Mhm.
Right after that, there was a shift, and they were talking about downsizing the military
I remember that.
by 2020.
Yeah.
Am I forgetting that?
I remember.
It was a
I
lot
remember
of
that. Yeah.
downsized by 2020. X amount of soldiers are
Yep.
going to be gone by 2020,
Yeah.
and they were forcing people out with that early retirement
Yep.
and all that stuff. Right?
They
That
changed the RCPs
the
too.
RCPs.
Yep.
Okay, so that did
You are
happen.
correct. Yes.
That did
Yep.
happen. Okay.
That did happen.
I just want to make sure I wasn't looking at
Yeah.
that wrong.
That did happen.
Because I remember it's like, why are we downsizing the Army if we're getting ready to go back to Afghanistan? Like, it didn't make sense to me,
Yeah.
you know. But I was only in the Army a few years,
Yeah.
so as an E4 and whatnot, I'm like, okay, whatever. Downsize the
Yeah.
Army. I still have my whole career left. I'm good. I don't have to
Yeah.
worry about it, you know.
Yeah.
As long as my PT score is good and I don't fail my weapons qual, I'm good. Like,
Yeah. No, you got to think. At one point, it was, I want to say like right before I got out, it was like 5 years in a row that the Army didn't meet retention
they
numbers.
didn't meet retention.
Nobody
Yeah.
wanted to stay in. Yeah.
Nobody, and you got to think, leadership was just getting worse and worse over time, and people that shouldn't have been leaders became leaders over that time because not many were deploying as much anymore. Remember, there was that gap when less people were deploying, and other people were getting promoted that shouldn't have, and you started seeing that shift.
Yeah.
I first noticed it here.
Yeah. Here it was bad when I got
bad.
here.
And
it was crazy.
It almost seemed like it was a different kind of army here
Facts.
than what I had came. I came from a combat unit that was like, this is what we do.
Facts.
We train all the time and we go to war. And it's Fort Polk, it's JRTEC. That's what you do.
Facts. In was it 2020? Yeah, in 2020, me and my platoon went out to Yakima and we built the Acro Bridge over a dry gap, right? It was like the first 12 Bravo platoon to do it, right?
Hell yeah. That's just fun, isn't it?
No, fuck that, man. It wasn't fun.
Did you guys do it all by hand?
Yeah, man.
I say fun, but it's miserable.
What was my guy's name who instructed us? He was a Charlie. You probably know him.
Mr. Marshall?
No.
Was he a civilian or
He was a civilian, but he served as a Charlie for like 17 years. White dude.
Oh, he had the beard?
Yeah, he got the
White
beard.
Dude. And the glasses.
Did he have glasses?
Oh,
Man. You served with him. I know you served with him.
Oh, my God.
You had to have served with him, man. I forgot his name.
Was he a smaller dude or yoked?
Yeah, he was like yoked.
Snell? Was it Snell?
Oh, no.
Because he was, oh my God.
He served in the Army 17 years, right? Then he ended up getting man-boarded or something. And now he just goes around the country.
Lou.
That's probably him.
Lou.
Yeah.
It had to be Lou.
I think that's him.
Lou Trevette.
Yep.
Trevette, yes. It had to be Lou.
That's probably him.
Yes, I remember him.
Yep.
Did he always have like a dip in his mouth?
I can't remember. I remember he had this big beard, had long hair. He was probably about 5'11".
I think it was Lou. Yeah. Oh my God, I can't remember.
I got a picture on my phone. I'll show you after this, but I forgot his name. But yeah, he was teaching us the whole way, site layout, how to build all the boxes, how to do everything.
A lot of technical
yeah,
stuff,
yeah, man. It's dangerous too if you don't, you know what I mean. If you don't set up your site right, man.
And by like that much.
Yeah, man.
People don't realize.
Yeah, man. And we had the Novembers out there with us, you know, with the with the bucket loader, I think that thing was called. Then
The
they had the
Hyaks.
high axe,
Yeah.
lifting everything, and it went smooth. It was in Yakima, dude. It was so hot, man.
I hate Yakima.
Oh god, dude, it was so hot. It was
Like,
like 102, 103,
looking back
middle
at
of the
it,
summer.
at this moment now, I'm like, dang, that was cool. But during the time, I'm like,
Bro, I don't miss it, man. I don't miss it at
I don't
all,
know
dude.
why I do so much. I think
Bro,
it's
I
just because
don't,
like I don't get that same fulfillment
bro.
today. I miss some of that because I used to think like this is some cool. Like how fortunate am I? Like when we went to Yakima in the wintertime and it was blizzard out, it was terrible. Remember that cycle? And we didn't accomplish anything. We were just out there sucking it for no reason. Well, we were out there OP14 in the top by ourselves. I'm just like,
Super windy.
yeah. And I'm just like, well,
Nope.
For 3-4 days, we're just sitting here waiting for some guys to come in and shoot and then leave. Like,
No.
you know what I mean? But during that time when you're by yourself and nobody else is around, we're playing spades and doing whatnot. So like those are the times that I remember that I think were some of the best. Or like we get the CBT stuck and we have to get the bulldozer and get it unstuck. Like, stuff like that. It's like let's go break some stuff and come on and figure it out. Like I like that stuff, but there's also times where it's just like, nah. I remember you and we had a problem with the first sergeant major we had. That one dude, Sergeant Major Ellis.
Oh yeah, that dude. All right, okay. All right. Okay.
As of Hood Red, I am replacing Major Frankfurt as your commanding officer.
I remember that dude, man.
Yeah. So every time he come around, he'd be like, "Oh,
yeah,
here comes this."
Yeah, man. And then we had did you go on that wildland firefighting?
I had to stay back because that was med board. I had to stay back and then be the rear D first sergeant.
Bro, that was crazy, dude.
What an experience! Tell me about that, man. So for those of you guys who don't know, in 2018, was it Oregon?
17. It was 17, yeah.
Oregon and California was on fire as always, and active duty soldiers got called upon to go help the wireland firefighters out. So our unit got tasked with this, and you was on that team.
Yeah.
Tell me about that experience. So man.
It was like they tasked our whole brigade, right? And they pretty much took each company. It was a lot of cool stuff that we learned from the firefighters, man. Bro, it was like doing a 12-mile ruck every single day, bro.
Wow.
You get your pack on, you had your tool. Dude, those firefighters, those wildland firefighters, bro, beastly.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
Like it's unreal.
They do that regularly.
Regularly, dude. Like, dude, but it's like insane. Like,
what do you mean?
Bro, imagine doing a 12-mile ruck, my guy, every single day. Every single day.
And the fire's at you.
And the fire.
And you feel that
while
heat.
Putting out fire.
Digging trenches.
Yep. So you got your manual.
What are they having you guys do when you guys are out there? Like are you guys just like cleaning up brush and stuff, or?
Yeah. So we put in some manual fire line so the fire wouldn't jump. And we done that for a couple days, and then pretty much once the fire like cooled down, we was like getting fire hose, doing we were going over the ground, checking it to see if it's cool down and stuff.
Mhm.
If we felt any heat,
hot spots, yeah.
dig in it, turn the dirt over, make sure it extinguish the fire.
And you're doing that throughout the forest.
Yeah.
So the terrain is all over the place. And
what I didn't know, bro, Oregon is super mountainous, bro.
Really?
Like, it is insane. Like,
you don't think about that, right?
Bro,
like,
it was
trees.
We was in Umpqua National Forest. Crazy.
I'm gonna have to we're gonna look that up.
Umpqua. Yep, we was in Umpqua National Forest. Yep. Man, it was hard work. But the cool thing was on the fire camps, you have like some of the best chefs, dude, and the food is so good.
Really?
Oh my god, dude.
Lumberjacks,
like
right?
it's equivalent to you remember at Lindenwood going to that Air Force DFAC? Bro, that's how good the food was.
Steak and lobster.
Yeah. Dude, it was so good, man.
You're a hero, bro.
Yeah.
You're a hero, man.
Yeah. We didn't get an award at all.
What?
Yeah, we didn't get nothing.
Are you serious?
No, I'm dead serious.
I didn't get my retirement award.
I didn't get anything either. Yeah.
That's great. Wait, hold on. I gotta read this some more. For those of you who are listening, guys, in 2017, the Umpqua National Forest experienced a series of lightning. Okay, lightning caused fires that burned 64,000 acres. Holy crap. A medical unit was deployed to the Umpqua North Complex fire. The unit was equipped with a radio, medical kit, and the ability to communicate via text in the emergency. Medical unit also worked closely with communications and safety personnel to manage and mitigate medical incidents. Air Force Wildland Fire Branch is a collaborative effort that worked with other organizations to prepare for wildfires. Oh, wait, no, there's more. I know there's more because I know you guys were in there.
Yeah.
Military, mobilized. Here we go.
Yeah, so it was whole first brigade.
There we go. Look, there's our unit. Look.
Yep. It was whole first brigade.
Wow.
Yep.
Yep, that's us right there. That's our unit. That's crazy.
Yeah. Super dangerous though, man.
JBLM, 1-2 Striker Brigade, Battalion 23rd Infantry
Regiment. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, man, it was super dangerous.
Wow.
Hats off to those firefighters, man. Those dudes are tough as nails.
It says here you guys were organized into 10 crews of 20 persons each.
Yeah.
And you guys helped approximately 30,000 acres. Jesus.
Yeah.
That's 50 miles of the East Rosenborg, Oregon. So you guys were there for what, a month?
Yeah.
About a month long, and you guys dealt with 30,000 acres in a month. Wow.
It was kind of dope though, right? So we had like
oh wow.
Yeah, so that's a real firefighter right there. The one that's really dirty, that's a real one. He has a white hat, so he was pretty important.
Right.
I forgot what they all had different helmet colors. That's like let you know what position they are, right?
Right. This is the foreman. This is the safety guy. This is
okay. So it was crew boss was like it's actually kind of set up like the Army, right? So the crew boss was like a platoon sergeant, and then he had 2 squad leaders, and then they had firefighters under the squad leaders, and then you had a swamper, and then you had a sawyer, right? So one had a chainsaw, and then one was like grabbing stuff as he cut it. Like, it's crazy, dude.
Wow.
It was a cool
process. So like,
man.
Cutting someone, it's just
dude.
It's natural to them, right?
Yep. It's so cool, man. A lot of hard work though, man. Very, very laborsome.
Yeah.
But you can make a lot of money doing that stuff. It's crazy how much money they make.
Do you think that the guys that were there working for it, do you think that they enjoyed it? Like
Oh,
they
yeah.
actually enjoyed working
Yeah, it
out
was-
there and doing that stuff?
It was
Or
a couple, the crew that we work with, I think they were out of Wyoming, I want to say.
and they came all the way over to Oregon
yeah.
just to help fight the fire.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, but they make so much money doing it because they work so much.
And you got to think there's probably not as many people trying to do this job.
What? No. It's a lot of people.
Really?
Yeah. It's a lot.
I wouldn't think if that's like a job people want to jump into.
No, it's a lot.
Really?
Yeah. Like, so check this out. You got these different tiers of firefighters, right? It's like tier 1, they're called like smoke jumpers, I think they're called. They're like, imagine airborne jumping into a fire, and they'll fight the fire from the inside out.
Oh hell.
yeah. Bro, I'm telling you,
Wow.
these dudes are insane, my guy.
You know the engineers used to have a team
Yes.
like that?
Yeah. They still exist.
Really?
Yeah, they jump into the
guys?
trees.
And they had like the chainsaws and whatnot. Really?
That's
never saw
18.
them.
You talking about 18 Airborne Corps? Yeah.
I never actually saw them get to do it, but I always heard about
They're
it.
out of Bragg.
Bragg? Okay.
Yeah, they're in Bragg.
Wow.
Yeah. They jump into the trees so they can make the airstrips. Yeah.
Could you imagine? Could you just imagine? Like I never went airborne because
No. Never.
Personally, I can't think of jumping out of a plane being a good idea. Like
nope.
And I've seen airborne accidents.
Yeah.
Like
I'm good.
Yeah. And I always told people like, because first, if you go to airborne, you can get promoted and go.
Yeah.
Look. First of all, that parachute, I don't.
Yeah.
First of all.
Yeah.
First of all. Second of all, I've personally seen in Geronimo and Fort Polk when somebody's chute in reserve does not open right from just 10,000 feet.
Yeah.
Like I'm not okay. Like I just don't want to put that much trust in that. Like you guys have up armored vehicles here and stuff for us. I'll put my trust in that. That's been a little bit more tested than this nylon string.
Yeah.
That if one thing goes wrong, I'm toast.
Yeah.
Like I just never understood. Kind of like that and like the Helocast.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm not jumping into the water. Like if I'm in this situation where I have to jump into the water, everything else better be gone and better be gone wrong. Like in my opinion, that's the reason I became an engineer to build bridges the way I do, so I don't have to jump into. Like I want to put you across.
Yeah.
I'll put a bridge and put you across to the other side, so I don't have to jump in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why they gave us boats. Like I just, to me, it just doesn't seem logical. Like it's just seemed more traditional than it did logical.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because when's the last time we actually did an airborne assault? Like, you know what I mean? But like everybody's got this cool training and but like, come on, man. Like, when are we actually?
Yeah. I agree.
You know what I mean? And
no offense to our airborne brothers.
I'm just saying. Like it's cool. I'm not gonna lie, it's cool. I don't see it logically. When you think about, we've been in combat. Yeah. Right. So like when you think about combat, I don't want to be the guy dangling while they're like, just jump out and just go. Like for me, but
you got to think like airborne during World War II was essential. You know what I mean? That was essential.
Was it though? Was it, or was it just the tactic that they used? Because
they needed people there fast on the beaches of Normandy and surrounding areas, man.
I think you're right. I can see the tactical advantage because obviously storming the beach was a massacre.
Oh,
like D-Day was a massacre.
Oh, yeah.
So you think, how else can we get, if they have the whole space surrounded, how else do we get in?
Yeah.
Right? The beach was a massacre. Well, I guess we have to drop in, right? And you do it at night and you do it in different ways that they can't even imagine. I mean, I can understand that, but like, imagine being the guy who has to give that order to 100,000 soldiers. Like, hey guys, you're gonna go jump out of a plane into a hot zone while you're getting shot at, and you're not gonna land where you think. So you're just gonna have to grab your stuff and link up with the nearest soldier and figure it out.
Yeah.
Because that's what happened. That's exactly what happened.
Those dudes were beasts,
like,
man.
They were. No, they really were. But like, you
Crazy.
think about that, the tactical advantage that they had in 1942.
Yeah.
To do that in 1942 to here we are in 2025.
Yeah.
We're doing the same type of basic jumps, but we're not applying that anywhere other than, because here's my thing is, even after you get these guys, they get out of the military and they have this airborne experience, but they can't use it anywhere.
Yeah. That's like 90% of combat MOSs.
Yeah.
A combat engineer, I done that, working with heavy explosives, hadn't done it since.
Not a single time.
Nothing.
Unless you're gonna go work in like Utah at a rock quarry.
Yeah.
Yep. To use explosives, or like on a movie set where they need a guy with explosives. But those odds are very slim. Or an instructor.
No. SWAT teams. They need a breacher.
True.
Yeah.
But
they all learn it though.
Right. They can, any of them on the team can learn that, but not to mention, are they gonna just pick a veteran guy who has that experience just to join the SWAT team, just to be a breacher?
You know what? Believe it or not, they kind of do. And then
I guess it just depends on the area too.
People who got like Ioka, for instance, SWAT teams want them because you already know how to use a robot. You know what I mean? You already understand how explosives work. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's a small portion of the workforce.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. You have 10,000 combat engineers, maybe 6 of them get the job.
Yeah.
Like,
how do you even find these jobs? You know what I'm saying? Like,
without coming up on a hot list too, you know, jobs that are good with explosives.
Well,
yeah, good luck
so
that
you got to think, us combat engineers, we're followed anyways for the rest of our lives just because of what we know how to do. You know what I mean?
It really makes you think. How many people out there have clearances, know things, but they can't say nothing. So what do? I turn to God.
Yeah.
I have to. Because there's days, man, I sit there and I struggle. I'm like, I'll see what's going on. I'm like, how can anybody be okay with this? But I'm just one guy, so it looks like I'm the crazy guy. Like, well, how would you know? You're just some guy.
Yeah.
Right? Well, not really. You know, I have a clearance, and I used to do this, and I've seen this. Sure. Okay.
Yeah. I try not to think about it, bro.
It's,
you know,
I think for me though, it's hard because I have to. There's certain things that get sent to me too that people want me to look into, and find out the truth. Whether it's a different organization or a different company, one of the representatives, or even the sheriff. Like, they want me to look into these things deeper because either they don't have the time or know how to, right? And I don't mind. I'll look into it, but I'm also not going to sugarcoat it either. I'm going to put out exactly what's wrong with the information I see and put it out there. And when I start to see these things regularly, it's hard to remember of all the other good stuff that is happening and is available. It's so hard to take it in because it's like all you see is what's wrong.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I think for me especially, it's hard to overcome that. It's like, how do I get over thinking everything is wrong or thinking negative on many things? How do I get over that? even with the negative experiences that I did have, how do I get over that and still want to just keep going? Like for me, I found it hard to just watch a football game.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
And I used to love football.
What?
I used to love football, man. And like I used to go to the games and stuff all the time.
Yeah.
But it was after COVID, man. I bought my tickets and whatnot, and they wouldn't let me in because I didn't have a card.
Really?
Back in 2020, I had bought nice seats and whatnot, but I didn't have one of those vax cards.
You didn't get vaccinated? Really?
Oh no! I waited. I went with the whole thing. I didn't.
What?
Yeah, man. Yeah. They tried that at Boeing too.
Really?
Yeah. I had to fight, get the religious exemption and all that and everything, and it worked out for me because I'm an ordained minister. So I just signed my own papers and started signing off other people's stuff. And told them, look, if you want to fight this, you can, but I'm prepared.
Wow, I just got it, man.
But you were still in, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I realized I have a choice.
Yeah.
And I don't have to trust the government.
Yeah.
And there were too many things for me from working and seeing how things were going. There was too many unanswered questions for me to just rely on the government telling me, right? And at the time, I realized too, how are we gonna all of a sudden we got this unknown sickness and all of a sudden we worked really fast to get a cure.
Yeah.
That hadn't been tested properly. That was another thing for me. And I started thinking, well, I no longer have to be the guinea pig in the government anymore. I can actually say no. You know what I mean? Whether it's Boeing or whoever, I can still say no. I have that option now because I'm an American.
Yeah.
Right? And it was hell, man. You know how much hell I took for this? Like,
really?
People, oh yeah, there were so many people that were trying to convince me to just do it. Just do it. Just get it. You don't have to worry about nothing. Just do it. It'll make everything easier. Nah, man, I'm cool. I'll wait. I'll wait. Different supervisors, whether it was Boeing or Allied, everybody. Well, if you don't do it, then you're going to have to every month or every week you're going to have to take a test. All right. Well, make sure you provide the test. That's the level I was at because I just realized like I don't have to play their game anymore.
Yeah.
I don't have to. You know, and then I had a conversation with my actual doctor, my primary care doctor.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask him man to man, like the truth. And he was an old Korean dude. Like he wasn't sugarcoating nothing.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, don't get it, but you need to lose weight now. And I was like, okay. He's like, you're too fat. If you get COVID, you could die, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I already had it and I'm good. He's like, oh, you had it? You're good? Okay, you're fine. But you need to lose weight. You're too fat.
Yeah.
I was okay. But you know what, though? That was what I needed, though. Yeah. Because then he put me on the scale and I realized I was 289 pounds.
Dang.
Right. I didn't even realize it.
Dang.
Sitting at Boeing all the days, 16-hour days, and next thing you know, I'm on the scale. I'm like, what happened? Ooh. Yeah, man. Dang, 289. That was my height. No, excuse me, not 280, 285. Still, yeah, 285. Excuse me. That was my highest. I lost 69 pounds in the last few years.
That's good.
Just switching up the diet, just eating higher protein, mainly carnivore, just meats, fruits, and veggies. And I still have like pizza and some carbs every once in a while, but I limit it a lot. I really limit it. But I feel so much better.
It's good.
So much better. And then I realized like all that weight just gone, man. It was all fat.
Yeah.
It's just all fat, man. And just it catches up to you so fast. Like I didn't realize, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was still going to the gym and stuff. So I thought I was just, building muscle on top of it and whatnot. But when you're sedentary, just sitting there or just sitting in the car for hours on end, not moving around and whatnot, and eating what you can because you're in between shifts and whatnot, like that stuff adds up quick.
Yeah.
You know. And yeah, he said 285. I was like, I gotta do something.
Yeah.
Like I gotta do something. Now I'm back to my army weight.
That's good.
216. I feel a lot better.
Yeah.
I'm able to maneuver around and not like get out of breath just from walking up the stairs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I like that better.
Yeah.
You know, I got a house full of stairs. I want to be able to get up and down my stairs. Now,
yeah.
my knees may hurt, but
I know it. Yeah.
but at least I can breathe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, man, I didn't get it. I didn't cave into any of what they were telling me. I actually ended up writing a couple religious exemptions for other people and different companies too that were giving them a hard time about it. Yeah, I couldn't listen to the government, and something inside was telling me. Maybe it was God, maybe it was my ancestors. I don't know. Something was telling me just stand by your conviction.
I was like, just give me these 2 shots, man. I'm good.
Right. But there were so many people that was like that. So many people that was like that. Just get it.
Yeah.
Right. But if you're one of the few that did have complications, if you didn't get it, you would have never had a complication. That's how I looked at it too. And I had already gotten COVID and gotten over it.
I never got it though.
Really?
No.
You sure you never got it?
Yeah.
Never? Did you ever get sick during that time or any colds?
No.
Flu? Hey. You just got lucky. You got lucky. I got it. And I mean, here's the cool thing for me. I got it when I was bigger. The first time I got it, right? And I didn't even realize I had it.
So you had it more than once?
Yeah, I had it twice.
What?
And both times I had it in 3 days.
What?
3 days, gone. So like from the first day, realizing you have it, you take the test, it comes back. I'm like, oh shit, okay. Called work, hey, I got it. All right, stay home. When you come back negative, call us again.
Yeah.
Next day, came back in, fever was gone.
Yeah.
Took a test, negative. Like, all right, wait 24 hours, come back to work. Came back to work, and I was fine. No issues.
Man,
then I got it again
twice.
Yeah, then I got it again. I think it was year before last. I got it again. And I had one day I felt like hell. One day I felt like this is like, it felt like my brain was on fire and I couldn't taste. And I was like, what the heck is going on? You know, that's when I knew I had it because I was like, I can't taste the thing right now. Like, what the, this is weird. So I went, took another test.
Yeah.
Came back, showed the 2 lines, and I was like, all right, well, I guess I got it again. Maybe some soup, took some NyQuil, Dayquil. The next day, I was fine. Negative again. I was like, well, if that's it, then I'm not worried about it. Like, all right, I already got it. I'm not worried about it. Never did anything. Never had any problems. And then finding out, years later, it's like, well, either it did work or it didn't work. People don't know. People still getting COVID to this day. People that got the shot, people still getting it. So I'm like, my immune system will obviously work it out. It did. It worked it out.
That's crazy.
A lot. And I wasn't the only one like that, but I think about 90% of our staff just went ahead and did it. More than 90%, actually, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was more than 90% that just went ahead and went along and did it.
I tacked it up. Being in the Army, we was already getting so many shots. What's 2 more?
That's how I thought at first. But then I realized now that I'm out, I can actually say no. That was it for me.
Hey.
That was it for me because it's like, well, they can't fire me for this. Like I just have a religious exemption, so like it's not their business. Like for me, that it really had to hit home. Like it's not their business.
Damn.
Yeah. If I was still in the Army, I guarantee I would have got it. I guarantee I probably would have been like, whatever. It's just, you know what I mean? I guarantee. I don't want to say I guarantee because I don't know, but I can almost guarantee that I probably would have just got it if I was still in because, like you said, what's one more? They gave us those peanut butter shots and all the other medicines they gave us when we were deployed, and who knows what they stuck us with when we got hurt.
Reception. Think about reception at Leonardwood, bro.
I mean, I think of just SRP getting ready to deploy, and they give you all the shots, and then they give you the reading material afterwards.
Right.
And you know you went through that same process because SRP, they're trying to get you through, and they're giving you all these medicines to prepare to go overseas, but they don't give you the reading material until after you sign the shit.
I remember getting any.
But you had to sign a waiver.
Yeah.
You had to sign a waiver.
Bro, I don't even remember.
But I guarantee you signed waivers for medicines before you deployed. I guarantee it because the reason doxycycline's another one. Remember doxycycline, the malaria pills we had to take every day? That's another one. Do you know how bad that messes up your intestines?
Oh, I stopped taking it.
So you stopped taking that?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't even remember. I remember
probably making you feel funny. Had bad dreams, huh?
Yeah.
There's something consistent with it. It's such a heavy antibiotic.
Yeah.
It's a great antibiotic. It's a great antibiotic. However, we're not supposed to take that stuff every single day for a year like that.
Oh, were you supposed to take it for a year?
You're supposed to take it every day the whole time you was there, and then when you got back, you're supposed to take.
I took that maybe like 2 days.
Well, so my first tour, I only took it like the first week because I was brand new. I was scared. Right, my second tour, we were saving them things up, man. We were saving them up because we knew the dreams that we had before and all that. But there's studies about it, man. Doxycycline, that shit will mess you up long term. And you're not, and like you can't, I can't think of how many times you and I would pull each other to the side in the middle of the chaos that's going on and just talk like, bro, what's going on?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's those conversations right there that resonate for me.
Yeah.
Because I don't have anything to go off of or measure throughout my life other than what I experienced, right? So it's not like I had some dad every day telling me right from wrong or values, nothing like that.
Yeah.
I was out in the streets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My mom had to work full time trying to raise 2 kids by herself. She wasn't home. We was out in the streets or I was working.
Yeah.
Until I joined the Army.
Huh.
Next thing I know, I have some drill sergeant yelling at me, and I just have to act like Forrest Gump. Just do whatever they tell me to get him out of my face.
Yeah.
You know, then you start to build that camaraderie with the people that you're embracing the suck with.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, we're deployed, and all you have is your brothers and sisters to the left and right of you. And for us, when we deployed, we didn't have that many females, but we had a handful of females, all dudes.
Y'all deployed as a battalion or company?
We were alpha units. We deployed by ourselves. Just
a company. Yeah, that's how it was. Yeah,
I think that's better.
Yeah,
that's way better because you can keep everything in house and still get stuff done.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like your highest person is your company commander.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. He goes and talks to the general. Like, I like that. You know what I mean? Hey, Captain, can you guys handle this? Yeah, we'll do it. I like that so much better than 3 different levels of people telling you, well, what about this? And well, no, we're gonna close the roads now just because, like, soldiers, man, let us go, like, handle the job and come back. Like,
what part of Afghanistan was you in?
My first time it was Helmand and Kandahar.
Yeah,
that was 2010, 2011.
Yeah,
and then in 2014 it was mainly all Kandahar.
Oh,
we started doing the retrograde in the bridge park and repair missions only.
Got you.
So there were 6 bridges along Route 4 in Afghanistan. So we were tasked during, was there 7 months? We were tasked with just the repair and upkeep of those bridges.
Yeah.
And then the tear down and retrograde of the bridge park and all that in Afghanistan. That was the easiest deployment I ever had.
That second one?
Yeah. Oh, I thought it was vacation fun. Yeah. I honestly did because, I mean, you pretty much work Monday through Saturday. Sundays you're chilling.
Yeah.
And even when you're working Monday through Saturday, it's like you go to the gym in the morning with your crew. Uh, you got 3 hours or 2.5 hours before your first next hit time, and it's not like a real formation. It's just, hey, we're meeting up in the motor pool. We're gonna work on this or prepare for this next mission. Like, but then when they start bringing in the garrison stuff,
Yeah.
that's always what makes it hard for me. Like, all right, go do your SSDs or go do this classes and stuff. I'm like, man, we downrange. Like, let's just focus on the mission and stuff. But you want us to go do SSDs and stuff.
That's crazy.
Like, you know what I mean? But
yeah.
I can understand why. But
Yeah.
busy work.
Yeah.
They like a lot of busy work. But my second time around, we had a first sergeant he was a soldier first. So First Sergeant Alcorn, he allowed the platoons to do what the platoons do and do it your way. Just don't fuck nothing up.
Yeah.
Like, that was his thing. Like, if you have to think about it more than twice, you're probably wrong. That was his motto. Other than that, just make it happen. Just make it happen. He believed in his NCOs to get the job done. And he kept the commander and the XO off our backs.
Yeah.
He was really good at that.
Yeah.
We never had an issue with our commander or XO while we were downrange. Not a single time. Which is usually unheard of, right? Usually there's some command doing something stupid. No. Captain Linford kept to his business, and First Sergeant Alcorn kept to the NCOs, and that was it. Let us handle our business. And it was grown man business.
Yeah.
I missed that.
Yeah.
When you get back to garrison,
I don't own any guns, man.
Is that just for a personal choice?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would think with the amount of training and stuff that you have, you'd be with it.
Nah, I'm good.
Really?
Yeah. I'm good.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand that too.
I hadn't shot a gun since I got out.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't ever like it or find it therapeutic or nothing like that?
Nope.
Really?
Gym.
Okay. That's, I mean,
yeah.
I can understand that too.
Yeah. I don't.
Just not for you, right?
No.
Is it a experience thing too?
Yeah.
Like prior experiences?
Yeah.
Like that?
I know what I'm capable of.
Without having to utilize it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no point. You know? There's no point.
Do you train? Do you train at all?
What do you mean?
Like martial arts or boxing or anything like that? Or no?
Body hurts too much. Yeah.
Oh, that's
body hurts too much.
Just even trying to the gym.
Yeah.
Just
I don't lift heavy.
Dude, I can't.
I'll put like 135 on bench, you know.
Just enough to get the blood flow in it. Yeah.
That's it. Do a lot of cable workouts.
Getting older, man.
My body, man. I'm telling you, destroyed my body, man.
Yeah. Do you find it like every year that you were in the Army? And I say this for active duty.
Yeah.
For like every year that you're in the Army, it's like putting on 4 years on your body.
So it depends. Like my first deployment was insane, bro. Like the wear and tear that I put on my body in that 1 year was crazy, right? And that was the best years of my life, you know?
Right.
Destroyed my body.
Right.
You know?
And there's no recovering from that.
No.
Like people think.
No.
Like, because you would think, oh, well, you have some of the best doctors. First of all, no. Number two, they're like the medics and stuff. Their job is to just keep you in the fight as long as possible. So what are they going to do? Load you up full of Motrin, muscle relaxers, and ibuprofen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I remember when I got blown up the first time.
The first time.
Yeah.
That's something combat engineers can say.
Oh, yeah.
The first.
I remember the first time. I
don't mean to laugh either.
No,
I know.
true.
I've been there.
Yeah. It's the I remember the first time I got blown up. I was like 250, 300 pound IED, sitting ducks, can't recover. Taliban is about to surround us.
Jesus.
And we're just
sitting there.
Yeah. Good thing was because we was QRF for Navy SEALs and SF, and they was in our convoy, right?
For those of you guys who don't know, QRF is the Quick Reaction Force.
Yeah.
Those are the guys who they're like pretty much they're on standby in case shit goes down. They need more guys to come in.
Yeah.
They're right there.
So we was resupplying them with personnel and ammo and stuff, and I was the last truck in the convoy that day, and hit a pressure plate because we weren't doing route clearance, so we were just driving,
just going.
Yeah. And
what vehicle were you in?
I was an RG-31. Yeah, that was almost a real bad day, man.
RG-31. Huh?
Yeah. Damn. That was almost a real bad day.
What goes through your head when you first hear or you first realize that that's what's happening? So using one of these bad boys.
We were
kind of like this.
We were like that one.
Oh, with the arm too?
No.
Or is that a buffalo?
It didn't have the arm. So that's the Fozzie arm. Shit. Yeah, that's the Fozzie arm.
Okay.
They started putting those on them.
On the newer ones?
Yes.
Oh, okay. When I was in R2C2, we didn't have one with the arms. It was just...
Yep. That's another interrogation asset, that arm. If the buffalo arm goes down, you use the Fozzie arm.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
But yeah.
So, for a lot of people who... I mean, I would like to think that most people in the world will never have to experience an explosion.
That was terrible.
I just want to make that clear because for you and I to talk about it, it seems like it's just so common and so regular.
It was insane.
Like to literally just think about like recovering and coming out of an explosion. Like I just want people to understand that here for a second because I don't think movies or shows or anything like that will ever be able to do it justice because
it's insane.
Just the amount of sound and
and
pressure
that's the thing. It wasn't loud inside.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't really know what was going on because that was my first time being blown up, right? I remember the last thing my TC said to me was like, he was like, stay in the tracks. Keep in mind, it's dusty as fuck.
Right.
You can't see no fucking tracks, right?
You're just hoping.
Yeah, dude.
Especially driving through the desert with all these trucks.
Bro. So it was even more crazy because a freaking wrecker went over the exact same spot.
Oh, wow.
Right? So when we got blown up, it was to the point where the RPG cage was dragging on the clock wall, right? That's how tight it was in this village. My front right tire caught the pressure plate.
So it must have been like right on the edge, right?
Yep. So it was set up for RG-31 with rollers on the front, right? So the main charge went off under the back.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it did in the hole and almost breached it.
Were you as a driver?
Yeah, I was a driver. Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
And did you have the V-hull?
Oh, so mine looked like that.
Like this one. Okay, with the RPG cage around it?
Yeah. That's what my RG31
It's so
looked
hard to
just like
see
that.
out of those things.
Yeah, it was
man.
terrible. Terrible.
We had the nets, the RPG nets with
Oh
the
yeah,
magnets.
yeah. We got those on
I
Matt
don't think they
V's
worked.
had them.
Yeah, the Matt V's.
Yeah, Matt V's had them. But yeah, RG31 looked just like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Giant up armored cage.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's so nuts. And to think like that's just your regular everyday office right there.
Yeah. At
That's your
6'3", driving this thing, my knees are on the dash. No room,
And then you just feel that.
It's so what hurt the most was because like we were going so fast, it blew off the whole rear axle. It was when RG31 came back down and landed. That's what hurt the worst.
Right, that impact of just
impact, yeah. And I remember the SF dude in the back. He was losing his mind because it blew up our fuel tank. You could smell the diesel. My TC was knocked unconscious. I had to wake him up. I couldn't get out of my door.
Pinned shut, and plus all that extra weight from
it's terrible.
From the cage, being exploding and whatnot.
It's like terrible.
And I don't know if you heard me ask this. Did you guys have like the V-hole?
Yeah, all V shape.
So
yeah,
do you think that saved you? That saved you guys? Because I've heard some things that like,
buddy,
yeah,
that V shape doesn't really matter
when it comes to an actual explosion. It's gonna
if it hits it just right, it's gonna split it like butter. Yeah. I watched buffaloes get knocked off the road. Yeah.
The V shape, for those of you guys who don't understand, it's designed for if a blast goes under the hull of the vehicle, it's supposed to
go out.
Push the
blast out.
But most of these are homemade explosive devices, so they're packed full of who knows what.
And fertilizer, diesel fuel. They started using
urea nitrate.
Yep, that's your fertilizer. And then there was soak it in diesel fuel. And that pressure plate had a D-cell battery, so locals could drive over it, and then our heavy vehicles crushed that pressure plate, made the connection.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And you said this was in a village area, right?
Yeah.
Do you recall, and this is probably hard to think about now, but do you recall in the village area, was it heavily populated, or was it kind of,
so it was in the middle of fucking nowhere.
So it seemed like anything could happen.
Oh, absolutely. We got ambushed.
Yeah.
Probably about an hour later.
Jeez.
Yeah.
While you're doing your recovery.
We couldn't recover.
Really?
There was no recovery. Because there was no back axle.
But you had the wreckers, what I'm talking about, right?
No, they couldn't recover it because there was no back axle.
Oh, wow. They couldn't reverse it or nothing like that. Wow.
Well, not even reverse it. You got to think. They come under the front of the RG31, hoist it up, right? So they tried to do it with the back, but you can't.
Oh, because there's no way to hoist it up properly without snapping.
Yeah, you can't. So we were sitting ducks.
Oh, man. So in that situation, I'm going to assume you have to call either a 916 or a HET to come recover it, which means you have to wait until they get there. So you have to occupy that area until they get there.
Yeah.
Because that's what happened to us.
Yeah.
You have to wait.
Yeah.
You can't leave the X. You have to wait there. Because you're not going to leave people there. Like so now you have to secure that area, and they know what's happening. The Taliban and
absolutely, yeah. It was a huge blast in their village.
I want to let people know, for those of you who don't know much about the Taliban and whatnot, like just because they don't have a formal education like most of us do, these individuals are some smart dudes.
Yeah, they're really good. In East Afghanistan, they were really good.
They know their terrain.
Yeah.
They know what works and how to circumvent our obstacles like the cage or whatnot. in Iraq they were using what the copper EFPs.
Yeah, they had those in Afghanistan.
We
Then they
never came
had
across anything like that.
DFFCs,
What's
right?
that?
Directional fragmentation.
Oh, was that like with that?
They hang that shit in trees and shit.
Yeah,
for
I know.
dismounts and
Recoilless rifles and stuff like that.
oh
too?
yeah. They had, dude. Our first firefight was insane. It was unreal.
Really?
Like it was like you remember in JRTC that big cultivating crazy scenario, right?
Everything's just going nuts. Goats everywhere, and
Imagine a year of that. Our first firefight,
Jesus.
April 21st, 2011, second month in country. There was 120 Taliban that ambushed our RCP. Insane. Insane.
That's an entire company.
It was insane.
That's a whole company.
Bro, it was insane. Yeah. It was insane.
And not to like, because this is tough, man. Like, not to downplay this at all, but like when you're in that situation, it's either them or me.
Oh yeah.
It ain't gonna be me.
Yeah.
And for me, I think the hardest part now is looking back at like what I do working with kids and the community and stuff. And it's like, you know, those people didn't ask to be born there. And this really started making me think a little bit differently about like, what are we actually doing here, resource wise? Who's sending us over here? What the overall game plan was. And then it makes me think like, those situations that you went through, or I went through, for what?
Yeah.
For some suit and tie to get an award for off of our back, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like me, it's just like a human, regardless of Afghanistan people's religious preference or not, just the human level. They didn't ask to be born there.
Yeah.
I didn't ask to be born here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the average person, the regular person there.
Yeah.
Like, put yourself in their position.
That's all they know.
I wouldn't like us either.
Yeah.
I would, honestly, honest to God, if Russia had been here prior to the United States, which was true,
yeah,
and Russia had failed,
yeah,
right, and
there's
then
still Soviet tanks,
right,
in East Afghanistan,
and bombs that we're still running into,
yeah,
mines that we're still running into to this day,
yeah,
from the Soviets,
yeah.
So you think about them being there for as long as they were, they couldn't occupy it properly. Yeah. America comes
it's
in
a
later.
Nightmare to occupy.
Right.
Yeah.
But America comes in there and does the best that they can for the longest time because they bring in NATO.
Yeah.
Right. So between Kandahar and Bagram, the two best strategic positions in Afghanistan, not to mention Helmand, which is Leatherneck, which is all Marines and the British.
Yeah.
So like, you have some really good strategic positions. Hazimadad, Jabad.
Yeah.
You have some really good strategic positions throughout the country. But then like last year, or year before last, we just give everything to them, and now you see the Taliban today doing parades and stuff in our tanks, and it's like
insane.
Everything that you just went through was for nothing.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean? And then I look at it as like, well, that's just another human being over there.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's either them or me.
Yeah.
It's not going to be me. But when I'm not in that situation anymore, I kind of look at war as like, what's the point, man? Like, why? Why? And I think we can say that with so much like, I don't agree. I don't think we need to do it. I don't think war needs to be the answer. I don't think war needs to be the answer. And I think for those of us who've experienced that kind of thing can really see and say that, because...
And that's why I don't own guns to this day.
I can understand that. You know what I mean?
There's no point.
I have other reasons, of course, but I can understand that.
Yeah.
I can truly understand that because it's just further facilitating that same act.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And there is no coming back from that stuff. Once you shoot, like there's no taking that back.
Yeah.
And I can see like too, like having that kind of power in your hand to just want to take a life so effortlessly.
Yeah. It's easy.
It's effortless.
Yeah.
Like it takes nothing to do.
And that's what most normal people don't understand about like combat veterans, right? We're literally trained to kill with no emotion.
Yeah.
Right?
Like that is your job.
Yeah.
Personal security details, detachments, whatever you want to call it. Like your job is to execute the mission. Without emotion and to keep doing it.
Yeah.
To keep doing it and then train others to keep doing it. Yeah. That's your job.
That's it. Yeah.
And then you get asked to come back and fill out a resume and figure it out.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think we can do?
Here's what I'll tell you though, man. I should have got out way sooner. I shouldn't have done 11 years and 9 months and 37. I should have just done my 4 and got out, you know?
Do you think that would have benefited you to this day now?
I missed out on a lot of money in life, just wasting it in the Army.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't, you say you don't really miss that, like all the craziness that we went through and all that cool stuff. Is there anything in particular that you do miss about the military? Because I know for guys that like, it seems like there's a huge disdainment towards the military for guys like us who have actually experienced some of the worst things that you can experience. Like, for instance, for me, I tell people like, you can't unsee some of these things. Like, when you see a little kid stuck in barbed wire and all jacked up, like, and there's nothing you can do.
Mm-hmm.
You're told to just step over and keep going. Like, how do you recover from that, knowing that that's just a kid?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? But then they train us to just keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going. Execute the mission. Hey, fuckface. It's either you or them.
Yeah.
And we're coming home. So get it together. What do they say? Pull your fucking pull your pants up. Let's go. Like, I don't see a consistent path for veterans at all. There's not a consistent path, I don't think. And you would think, and the reason I bring that up real quick is because you would think for how much time is invested from taking you from civilian to soldier, just basic training alone, everybody gets the same initial 9 weeks.
Yeah.
That alone, right? And then you transition to your military occupational specialty, your MOS, right? Mm-hmm. And that's more training. Because my divorce happened once I got out.
Yeah.
Things started to change.
Of course.
Like, and it wasn't even like bad change on as far, because like in the Army, there's so much uncertainty. You never know when you're coming home. You never know like what's going on, right? It was, I wasn't at work as much anymore, so now it was a problem, or because of what I'm doing now isn't as important as the Army, and now we don't have the same benefits anymore, or whatever it was. And it seemed like
my ex-wife was there for benefits solely.
Yeah,
that's it.
And when those benefits, when you see those benefits get taken away, and then they start acting different towards you, and it's like, wait a minute, were you with me for me, or were you with me for the benefit? And come to find out, it's like,
when you look at my ex-wife, her first baby daddy, he's in the Air Force. Married me. I was in the Army. The guys she was cheating on me with, military dudes. The first guy she fucking was dating, whenever she got back on the prior military, dog tag chasing. proposition I gave my ex-wife, we had just got a brand new house built during COVID. Hey, stay here. I'll pay for everything. You stay on my bank account. Don't worry about putting me on child support. I'll go find me an apartment, live somewhere else. Just don't move my kids away. She didn't care about that. Sad.
And I know divorce now is so common. They say it's 50-50 now. It's like a 50-50 chance, which is crazy.
In America, the best thing to be is a woman.
Oh, clear.
Why do you think
even
so
if you're
many
ugly,
men are transgendered?
because you get that special treatment.
Yep.
I think that's a slap in the face to women.
They're just finding a loophole in the system, man. A lifetime, right? When you look at, like, let's say Walmart, for instance, for my whole entire life, people going to Walmart is like comedy.
You know,
think about that.
I think you got a good point there too, especially with Walmart. You see anything and everything in Walmart.
Our whole entire lives, bro.
That's a good point.
60s and 70s, you gotta think it was a lot more conservative.
Values,
yeah.
There was
a family, whether you were black, white, Hispanic, whatever, it was still intact somewhat.
Right, yeah.
There's no family.
It's hard to see.
Yeah. There's a lot of fatherless homes.
That's something I believe. And if we get together again, I think that's something I want to touch on, man, is the fatherhood aspect, because I think, and I grew up without a dad. My dad died when I was 5 years old.
Yeah.
And my mother never remarried. It was rough, but I believe to like my core, like there is a absolute place for fathers. They have to be there.
Yeah.
And mothers too.
Yeah.
Mothers too.
Yeah.
But that level of discipline and common sense and just get it done type, like, I don't know. There's a balance, but there's a special place that fathers need to be, especially when it comes to raising a young man.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to raising young women too. But there's a lot that the woman's going to learn from their mother.
Yeah.
That a man just cannot teach a woman.
Right.
Just how it is, and vice versa. Like there are things my mother could never show me how to be a man.
Right.
There's just certain things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I had to find that out and learn that when I was in the Army.
Facts.
The things that I knew she couldn't provide for me.
Facts.
But if I didn't join the Army, where was I going to get that information from?
Yeah.
From the streets.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Because one way or another, the information is going to get to you.
Facts.
Whether it's from the streets or from somebody that you trust.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What people in America don't talk about is religious trauma.
Mm-hmm.
That's
crazy. Very true.
It's insane. Like,
that's very true.
They don't talk about religious trauma.
And that can be from physical, mental, you name it.
Oh, you don't want to memorize this Bible verse? Stand here all night.
Right. Or you're not part of the agenda that we're doing, and they kind of kick you out of the church. I thought we were supposed to welcome in everybody. But because I'm not given to the collection and I'm questioning where that money's going.
Yep. That's another thing. Imagine if America taxed churches.
What are we doing? Bro.
Imagine those rich online preachers. Do you think they will be gajillionaires anymore? Do you think they will have 6 private jets? You think Joel Osteen would still be a preacher?
Joel Osteen.
Taxed? Absolutely not.
Not only that, but like, I don't think that is what God wanted you to do.
Facts.
Like, and that the Bible mentions there's going to be false prophets.
Yeah. Greed.
I believe, and this is why I choose to use my platform only for real stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I personally believe if I have an opportunity to connect with people, why would I not use that for good and trying to influence them to be better? I don't make money off of this stuff.
Yeah.
I just do it because this is what interests me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't make any money off of this stuff. I do it because I'm that invested into it. Like, and that's it. I want the truth to get out. I want people to wake up to what's going on and have real conversations, not just being told what the government tells you to do and being, you know what I mean? I can't live like that. And like you're saying, imagine if they tax, or if they even use a portion of that money for the community that they're supposedly serving. So I was going to New Life Church in Kent when I was living in Kent.
Yeah.
And it was around Easter time. I started questioning some of their tactics and their philosophy, right? So they have a real nice facilities, like daycare and kid room and big halls to do the music and all this stuff, right? And it's like, all right, this is all right. I can get behind this, But then I started thinking, I was like, this is all really nice stuff, but they don't have a lot of people here in attendance. And when they are here, it's not even the actual pastors and people that are preaching to them. That's the first thing that really irritated me. So I go in there, they start singing, everyone's collabing, they're singing their songs, getting everybody warmed up. And I'm thinking, all right, it's time for the sermon, right? And a big white screen comes down, and they pull up YouTube, and it's some YouTube church. And I'm like,
no way.
I swear to God, bro, New Life Church right off the top of East Hill in Kent.
That's crazy.
I appreciate you coming out today and doing this, bro. We got to do it again, man. This has been great. Big guy.